I'm Tom Casey at Wickerman 2013. This is my representation of Weird Al's Albuquerque. Way back a long time ago when I was just a little bitty boy living in a box under the stairs in the corner of the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Anyway, back then life was great and everything was just peachy. Except of course for the undeniable fact that every single morning my mother would make me up a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. A big bowl of sauerkraut every single morning. It was driving me nuts, so I said to my mother, I said, "Hey Mom, what's up with all this sauerkraut?" My dear sweet mother, she just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. She leaned down next to me and she said, "It's good for you!" And then she tied me to the wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and force-fed me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. That's when I decided that one day I would travel out of that basement to a faraway magical place where the air would always smell like warm root beer and the sun was shining and the lepers and the Shriners played their ukuleles all day long and anyone in the street would glad to shake your back for it and they'd go, "Waka waka chuku, yeah." Well, let me tell you, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true because the very next day a local radio station held a contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in lead underneath my blood. Well, I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Well, I'd never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really cool. Except, of course, I had to sit between 2 large Albanian with an excruciating severe body odor. The kid in back of me kept throwing up the whole time. The flight attendants ran out of Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts. The in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore. Oh yeah, and 3, the engine burned down. We went to a tailspin, and the plane crashed on a hillside, exploded into a giant fireball, and everybody died! Except for me. You know why? Because I had my tray table up, had my seat back in the full upright position, had my tray table up, had my seat back in the full upright position, had my tray table up, had my seat back in the full upright position. So anyways, I crawled out of that twisted, burning wreckage. I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days. Carrying behind me my big leather suitcase, and my garment bag, and my 12-pound bowling ball, and my tenor saxophone, and my lucky autograph glow-in-the-dark snorkel. But finally I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are oh so fluffy, and you can eat your soup right out of the ashtrays if you want to. It's okay, they're clean. So anyways, I checked into my room and I turned down the AC and I turned on my spectacles and I'm just about to eat a little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much when suddenly there's a knock on the door. Now who could that be? I said, "Who is it?" There's no answer. "Who is it?" There's no answer. "Who is it?" They're not saying anything. So finally I go over and I open up the door and just as I suspected, it's a big fat hermaphrodite with a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. Hate it when I'm right. So anyways, he bursts into my room and he grabs my snorkel and I'm like, "Hey, you can't have that. That snorkel's been like a snorkel to me." He's like, "Tough," and I'm like, "Give it." He's like, "Make me," and I'm like, "Okay." So I grabbed his legs and he chewed off my eyebrows and I took out his appendix and he gave me a colonic irrigation, you better believe it, baby. And somehow in the middle of it all, the phone got knocked off the hook. And about 20 seconds later, I heard a familiar voice. And do you know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, "I'd like to make a call. Please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator." Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Well, to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel, but I made a solemn vow, I made a promise right then and there that I would not sleep. I would not rest for an instant until the one-nostriled man was brought to justice. But first I decided to get some donuts. So I got in my car and I drove over to the donut shop and I walked on up to the guy behind the counter and he said, "Yeah, what do you want?" I said, "You got any jelly donuts?" He said, "Nah, we're out of jelly donuts." I said, "You got any glazed donuts?" He said, "Nah, we're out of glazed donuts." I said, "You got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts?" He said, "Nah, we're out of Bavarian cream-filled donuts." I said, "You got any cinnamon rolls?" He said, "Nah, we're out of cinnamon rolls." I said, "You got any apple fritters?" He said, "Nah, we're out of apple fritters." I said, "You got any bear claws?" He said, "Wait a minute, I'll go check." No, we're out of bear claws. I said, in that case, what do you have?" He said, "All I've got now is this box of 12 starving, crazed, flesh-eating weasels." I said, "Okay, I'll take that." He hands me the box, and I open the lid, and the weasels jump out, and immediately start biting me all over. Oh man, they were just going nuts. They were tearing me apart. And it was just about then that a little ditty started going through my head. And I believe it went a little something like this. Ah, get him off me, get him off me! So I ran out of that donut shop with these weasels on my face, just running, like a constipated wiener dog. And just as luck would have it, that's when I bumped into the woman of my dreams. Her name was Zelda. She's a calligraphy enthusiast with slight overbite and hair the color of strained peaches. I'll never forget the first thing she said to me. She said, "You've got weasels on your face." Well, I knew it was true love, and from that moment on, we were inseparable. We ate together, we bathed together, we slept together, we even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. The world was our burrito. So we got married, bought us a house, and had 2 beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly. We were so very happy until one fateful night, Zelda said to me, she said, "Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club?" I said, "Whoa, hold on now, baby. I'm just not ready for that kind of a commitment." So we broke up, and I never saw her again. And that's just the way things go. In Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Well, things started looking up because about a week later, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, I got me a part-time job at the Sizzler. Yeah, I was doing pretty good. I even made Employee of the Month after I put out that grease fire with my face. Everyone was pretty jealous of me after that. I was getting a lot of attitude. Remember this one time I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil? When I see this guy Marty trying to carry a sofa up the stairs all by himself. So I says to him, I says, "Hey Marty, you want me to help you with that?" And Marty just rolls his eyes and says, "No, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw." So I did. And then he gets all addicted on me and he's like, "Hey man, I was just being sarcastic." Well, how was I supposed to know that? I'm not a minor just for crying out loud. Besides, he's got a really cute nickname, Torso Boy, so I don't know what he's complaining about. Kind of lost my train of thought there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know it's a roundabout way of saying it, but the whole point I'm trying to make here is I hate sauerkraut. That's all I'm really trying to say. Oh, and if you happen to wake up one day and find yourself in an existential quandary full of fear and loathing and racked with pain and isolation of your pitiful, meaningless existence, at least you can take a small bit of comfort knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy old mixed-up universe of ours, there's still a little place called Albuquerque. Albuquerque. A-L-B-U. Perky.